Hello children, myself Anuradha Sinha, your SSC teacher, is again present with a new session of social science that is. Children, we have already completed chapter 2 explanation as well as the exercises. Chapter 1 also we have completed the explanation and the exercises along with the value based question answers and something to do, and you have already given a test also of first chapter. Now before I conduct a test of the second chapter, I am here with a quick recapitulation of chapter 2, or you can say I am going to do the revision of chapter 2 as we do it generally in the classes. We have been doing the revision before every test. So today also I will be doing the same thing. I am here with the revision of the entire chapter that is chapter 2, sensitivity towards others. Now those students who have not seen the explanation of chapter 2 or have not gone through the videos, and it is already uploaded in YouTube channel, you can refer to that. At the same time, you can go through the revision which I am doing in this video. This will help you to understand the chapter in a very better way, in a very nice way. And this video is also for the new students of class 4 who have not attended the previous classes. Children, you too watch the video very carefully and understand each and every concept that I am explaining you, so that you can have a better understanding of the chapter and you can prepare yourself for the upcoming test. So let's start. The chapter is sensitivity towards others. Now first understand what is the meaning of sensitivity. The quality of a person to respond to something is called sensitivity. That means when you are responding to something or some person or to some situations, suppose some incident has taken place in front of you and you are immediately responding to that incident which has occurred, then that means that you are sensitive to that particular situation, or you are sensitive towards a particular person. I can explain you this with the help of an example. Suppose you are playing with your friend on the playground, and suddenly your friend falls down and his knee starts bleeding. Blood starts coming out of his knee. What would you do at that time? How would you respond to that situation? You would immediately run and inform your sports teacher about it and get some medical help for him, first aid help for him, so that the blood that is coming out of the knee of your friend could be stopped and some medical help would be provided to your friend. So in this situation, what are you doing? You are actually responding to his pain. That means you are sensitive to his pain. In the same way, I could give you one more example. Suppose your mother is cooking in the kitchen and her hand gets burned, might be by oil or by water, and you hear a shriek or a cry from the kitchen. You immediately move towards the kitchen and first of all you'll ask her mother to come out of the kitchen and you would provide her the first aid. Maybe you will apply a Bernol or you will apply some ice. What you would do at this moment is that you would try to heal the pain of your mother by immediately responding by immediately providing her the medical requirement that she wants at that particular moment. That means you are again sensitive towards the pain that you see of your mother. Now, let us move to the next part of the chapter. Our chapter starts with an example of a boy named Anand. Anand is a 9-year-old boy and her mother's name is Meena. One day, Meena sees that Anand is busy making a painting. She was very curious to know that for whom her son is making that painting. She asks Anand that, Anand, for whom are you making this painting? And Anand said that, Mama, I am making this painting for my classmate's sister. And that classmate's sister is a special child. Special child means a child who is not physically fit. He might be having in some problem or the other. Might be that child is not able to speak, that child is not able to hear properly, or might be that the child is not able to walk properly. This kind of children are referred as special child. So one of his classmates' sister was a special child, and that child was having her 5th birthday. So all the classmates decided that they would make something or the other for that special child. Some of them started making cards, the others started making paper chains, some started making caps, and Anand was also busy making a painting. Now, all these children were doing this for one motive, and that was to bring happiness to that special child. Anand's mother Meena was very happy. At the same time, she was proud of her son, because she never believed that Anand, who was not even ready to share her toys with her younger sister Usha, that boy was making a painting for a girl who is a special child. So this brought happiness to her mother, at the same time a feeling of pride also. Now we all live in a society, isn't it? What is a society? A society is an organized group of people where many people live, and they live in a very systematic way. All of them carry out their duties and their responsibilities, and they all live together in a society. Now in the society, we can find that there are so many people who are very sensitive. Even you take the example of yourself. Suppose you are standing on the road and you find a small girl or a small child standing next to you, and that boy or that girl is unable to cross the road. Won't you hold the hand of that boy or the girl and help him or her out to cross the road? You would do it, isn't it? Because this is a human feeling, a feeling of helping others. So this all binds us together. This all makes us useful members of the society when we understand the needs and the requirements of the other. When you see that somebody, most of us go to the temple, isn't it? Temple or whichever worship place we go, and there we find there are many helpless people who are begging. I am not talking about those who are physically fit and they beg just because they don't want to work. I am talking about those people who are physically not that physically fit. Might be they have lost one hand or some legs in an accident, and they are not able to carry out any work. They are very poor, very old, nobody is there to look after them, and so they have started begging. In that case also, we provide them some help, isn't it? We provide them our old clothes, we provide them food, we even provide them money. So this all shows that we are sensitive. And whenever we come across some old people and we see that they are standing in a bus or a train, it is also an example in your book, then we even provide them seat. We stand up and we provide them seat in bus or train. So this all binds us together as members of the society. Now, as we are dealing with young minds, so we are most concerned about the children. How do children develop a caring attitude? How can we provide them this kind of caring attitude as far as children are concerned? See, children, this kind of caring attitude is the beginning of this kind of caring attitude starts from home. The child first watch their parents and they do the same thing as their parents do to their elder ones who are present in the society, they present in the house. For example, if your parents, if I would not use the word if, it is that the parents at your home, they provide love and respect as well at the same time care to the grandparents, isn't it? That is their parents. So you grow up watching this, that your parents are providing love, care and support as well as respect to the grandparents. So you too do the same thing because you have seen your parents doing that. So this caring attitude, the seeds of this caring attitude are sown in family itself. We not only see and watch our parents, we also watch the people who are around us. These people could be anybody. They can be your teachers, they can be your friends, they can be your neighbors, they can be your relatives, or they can be any other person with whom you interact in your day-to-day life. The children are very sensitive and they watch the activities of each and every people around them, and they too try to do the same thing. If you behave with them in a very polite way, in a very friendly way, then they also follow the same thing and they are also very polite and very friendly in their behavior. But if they see that people around them are rude, they are harsh, they are always angry and they always use rude language, then they too try to copy that. So the family members have to be very careful regarding this, that the children copy them out. So they have to follow, they have to carry out those kind of behavior which the children should also follow. So how do the children develop a caring attitude? The children develop a caring attitude by watching their parents, by watching the people around them, and they watch their friends also. I would give an example of my friend. When I was studying in a school, I had developed this habit of speaking lie. And many of the times I tried to speak lie. But one of my friend, I watched her behavior that even though she forgot to do her homework, most of the time she was very punctual in her homework and she always carried out her work very punctually. But sometimes if she ever forgot to do her homework, I also do remember her name till date and we are good friends even now. Her name is Pooja Singh, and she was very honest and she never spoke lie. Always she spoke the truth. And I saw that when she did not do her homework also, the teachers did not punish her. Now this struck me, that even so she has not done the homework, why is she not getting punished? Then the teacher explained this to the entire class, that see children, she is the one who always is very regular in her work and she never escapes her work. She always completes her work in time, but when she is not doing her work and if she comes to school with not doing the homework, there might be some reason out. So we excuse those students who are very honest to their work and they are very honest and they speak the truth. From that day onwards, even I followed the same trait and I stopped saying lie. Until date, I try to do that. So let us move to the next chapter. I would also say that if you have, many of you might be having very good friends. So children, it is not necessary that you have to gain the good qualities from your parents and your relatives and your family members only. If your friend who is having a good quality, you can also learn from your friend. Even the friends and the classmates, they sometimes teach us something very precious to us. Now let us move to the next part. That is example of Neeta. Neeta lives in a joint family and where every member cares for the comfort of each other. Neeta plays very quietly in the evening while her grandfather rests. Now, when her friends come home during the evening time to play with her and they see that her grandfather is resting, they also follow the same thing and they play very quietly just like Neeta does. So see here, the friends also follow. If you are doing something correct, your friends would also follow the same path. Now let us move to the next example. The next example is of Vasudha, who is a successful fashion designer. Her mother works in an office and her father is a bank officer. Vasudha, before going for her work, she baths and she feeds her grandmother in the morning. And she does the same thing in the evening also. She feeds and she cleans her grandmother in the evening too. Her parents are very proud of Vasudha. And it is not that they have ever forced her to do this. The care that she carries for her grandmother, she has never been forced for that. She observed her parents doing that and she developed the sense of responsibility. So you too can do this at home. You all might be seeing that how caring your parents are towards your grandparents. So you also as children should always provide a helping hand to your parents to take care of your grandparents. Family plays a very important role in building strong bonds of love and care. The family teaches us this, how to care about others, how to support others when they are in need of us. The children, they show a special bond with their grandparents. How they show this special bond? They are always eager to help their grandparents out. They run to get their spectacles, they go to bring their medicines, they are always ready to provide them water and anything that their grandparents want. They are always ready to run and bring those things for their grandparents. The grandparents also in return are always ever ready to buy gifts for their grandchildren, maybe in the form of toys or fruits or storybooks. They also like the company of their grandchildren. They take them to the school, they go along with them to the park or any other place that the grandchildren enjoy. The grandparents are always eager to go along with them. Now, the next topic, living in a quiet world. Quiet world means a world where person is not able to hear. So those person who are not able to hear, we call them hearing impaired or we call them deaf. In your book, the example is given of Anjali. Anjali is a child who is born deaf. She was not able to hear from her birth. And when she used her hearing aid, the vibration of the sound disturbed her. She was not able to hear properly. So she immediately removed her hearing aid. So hearing impaired people, the deaf people, are the ones who are taught with the help of sign language. As they are not able to hear, so they cannot go to proper classes like you all do. So they are provided, the education that they get, they are provided that with the sign language. In sign language, what is done is gestures or facial expression or mime. Mime means signs are used in place of language. Now, why in place of language? Because they are deaf, they are not able to hear. So this is the only way by which they could be taught. This language is common among those people also who do not speak common language. They are not able, the language is not the same, as they are not able to understand. So at that time also sign language is used, but generally it is used for the hearing impaired people. Now, Pedro de Pons became the first teacher to teach deaf students, and in 1620, Juan Paulo Bonet he wrote the first book for the deaf, so that the deaf who are not able to get a proper formal education, they can understand the language through the sign language. So, a first book was written by him. Now, come to the next topic. Living in a dark world, a world where a person is not able to see, that is visually impaired, a person who is blind. Now, those people who are blind, they are taught with the help of touch, that is sense of touch. They use their sense of touch in order to learn something, in order to read something. Their books are different from ours. They use a language which is known as Braille language. Now, what kind of book they read? The books that they read, their pages are thick. They have rows of raised dots. Many of you might have seen the acupressure pads. They have raised dots. And what they do is that these blind people, they move their fingers on these raised dots, and by the sensation that they get on their fingers, by the feeling that they have on their fingers, they are able to read a particular line, and by this way they are able to read the book. So they touch the dots to recognize the words. So with this we come to an end of this chapter. So in this chapter we have learned so many things, that we should respect the elders. We should not make any kind of unkind remark about any child. At the same time, we should not provide any negative remark also about anybody's religion, caste, language. These all are the different ways how we can develop sensitivity towards others. We should always talk politely to the younger people or to the older people, and perhaps to everybody. Even the servants that we have at home, we should always remain polite. We should participate in all the activities, in different activities that is taking place in the school. Participation is very important. Winning is not that important. Yes, of course, winning is important, but more than winning, participation is important, because participation teaches you both. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. So participation teaches you to enjoy your winning, as well as it teaches you to gain confidence while you are losing. Next time you can win. We should have sympathy for the poor and anybody who is ill, who is suffering from any disease. We should have a caring attitude towards them, a sympathy towards them. We should share the household chores. There are so many works at home: cleaning, making the bed, arranging the things, bringing milk from the market, bringing vegetables from the market, watering the plants, arranging the things of the house which are scattered here and there. These are so many household chores that takes place in every house, and one member cannot do all the things. So all the family members should engage themselves in carrying out the household chores. We should share the household chores. And the most important thing, today's life is a life full of stress. So meditation should become a part of our life. We should follow this, because this helps to handle all kind of stress. So with this, we come to an end of this chapter, and this chapter teaches you that good citizens are made at home. The beginning of good citizen begins at home. So you all, during this period, you all can utilize your time more, because all the family members, even your father who gives you very less time, might be staying with you throughout the day and night. So you can enjoy your time with your family members and learn the moral values. These moral values, the beginning of the moral values begins at home itself. With this, we come to an end of the explanation. Thank you.